Hello dear friends and my dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Dear friends, as you know that we are discussing about the structure of the eukaryotic cell, right? In the previous lecture we discussed about the DNA, and in the lectures before that we have discussed about the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the nucleus and the nuclear membrane, and we have covered nucleolus also, right? Now in this lecture we are starting with the cytoplasmic organelles. There's those small organs of the cell which are called organelles present in the cytoplasm, and what is their function and what are their structures. So in the lectures regarding the organelles of the cytoplasm, this is the first lecture on that, and this is we are going to discuss about mitochondria, right? So what is mitochondria? This is a little bit history about mitochondria. Now let's know about the history of mitochondria, that who were the scientists who helped us to bring up the knowledge of mitochondria, right? So let us focus here. In the history of mitochondria, there are some scientists who have played their role in explaining the structure and everything of it. We will see the structure and other important points regarding mitochondria later, but let's first of all know a little bit about the discovery and history of mitochondria, right? I'll define mitochondria as we know that mitochondria produces lots of energy for the cell, right? We say that mitochondria is responsible to bring or to make energy for a cell. If a cell is working well, you put in mind that its mitochondria is working well, right? But if the mitochondria stops its working in a eukaryotic cell, the cell will stop working. How? Because for every function inside the cell needs energy. The cell needs this molecule which is called the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, right? Now in order to bring this adenosine triphosphate, mitochondria must be functional, mitochondria must work properly, right? And from what do we get these molecules? We get these molecules from glucose, from what we eat, right? And this glucose is broken down aerobically in order to take this molecule from that, right? And who is responsible to give our cell this molecule, this energy rich molecule? The mitochondria is responsible. Mitochondria is providing us energy. Mitochondria provides our cell energy, right? So if the cell is working properly, you put in mind that its mitochondria must be working properly, right? As there are generators which produce electrical energy and we glow these bulbs, right? So it's the case that in a cell, if the cell wants to be functional, its mitochondria must be working, right? In our body, I'm talking about eukaryotic cell, right? So this is a little bit about mitochondria. Now let's go in the detail of it. What is mitochondria? Mitochondria, we say that it is the power generator of the cell. It is the power generator of the cell. It is the energy provider of the cell. It is the powerhouse of the cell, right? So let me write here, mitochondria has been taken from two Greek words. That's why I have written with two colors. Mitos, right, means thread-like, right? And chondria. So these are two Greek words. Mitos means thread and chondrion means granules. So they were the thread-like granules present inside the cell, right? So mitos means thread, right? Thread, and chondria means granules. So they were, when the first time when they were seen, right, here was our friend who named it mitochondria. Yes, here Sibinda named it mitochondria. Why? Because he saw thread-like granules inside a cell, right? That's why he named it mitochondria in Greek language, right? So mitochondria are the if we write their definition, they are the power generators of the cell. They are the power generators of a cell, of a eukaryotic cell, right? And we also say that they are the powerhouse of a cell, eukaryotic cell. And they are the energy providers of the cell. Energy providers, they provide energy to the cell, right? So mitochondria is very important thing. Now let's know about its discovery a little bit. Friends, this mitochondria was for the first time seen by this man, the Colliker, in 1880 in the muscles of insects, right? So there were some insects which were flying, right? And the muscles of those insects, right, were full of these things, right? We will say after a while that how many number of mitochondria can be in a cell, right? We will see that. So for the first time, Colliker was the scientist, was the doctor who in 1880 saw for the first time these thread-like substances in the muscles of the insects, right? So this was the first person who observed the mitochondria, but yet he didn't knew about that, what is that, right? Then the second scientist, 10 years after him in 1890, Altman came in 1890 and said that mitochondria works itself as a cell. Mitochondria itself works as a cell. As we have in a cell membrane, there is membrane in mitochondria. As we have in a cell cytoplasm, there is the matrix of the mitochondria which works as the cytoplasm of the cell. And inside the mitochondria, as you can see, there is the circular DNA is present, right? So the mitochondria shows a picture of the cell itself, right? So that's why Altman in 1890 said that mitochondria works as a cell, and he called this mitochondria as a bioplast, right? So for the first time when it was named, the name was bioplast by Altman, right? Then there is the third man came, and the third man, C. Benda, in 1897 named it mitochondria. He didn't call it bioplast, he called it mitochondria. So C. Benda was the man in 1890 who named this structure in our cell as mitochondria, right? So the name was given by C. Benda. Then the fourth scientist, Kingsburg in 1912 explained its role in respiration. He said that in a cell there are thread-like substances which were called by C. Benda mitochondria. These thread-like substances are responsible for cellular respiration. So Kingsburg in 1912 explained its role in cellular respiration, right? Then the fifth one, Warburg in 1913 said that the enzymes which are required for respiration, these enzymes are found in mitochondria, right? So according to Warburg, the respiratory enzymes are present in mitochondria, right? Then the sixth scientist, Bensley in 1934 was the first scientist who isolated this mitochondria in the cytoplasm, right? Bensley was the scientist who isolated mitochondria in the cytoplasm of a eukaryotic cell, right? And in the last, we will say again, this man, the Altman, called the mitochondria as a prokaryotic cell which has entered to eukaryotic cell. Look, For the first time when Altman observed it, right, he said that this mitochondria is a bacterial cell. He said that this mitochondria is a bacterial cell. This cell has made some mutations, right, and it entered to a eukaryotic cell. It entered to a eukaryotic cell, and now that mitochondria, that bacteria which were named as mitochondria, this mitochondria is now living inside a eukaryotic cell, right? So Altman called it as a prokaryotic cell, as it has DNA but it doesn't has a nucleus, right? So that's why those cells which have no nucleus, we call them a prokaryotic cell, right? So he said that mitochondria itself is a prokaryotic cell, but it has entered to a eukaryotic cell, and now he's living in a eukaryotic cell, right? So this was a little bit history of mitochondria. Now we will move towards the structure of mitochondria, and we will explain the structure of mitochondria. So let's do that, friends. Look carefully. If you want to talk about the structure and everything about mitochondria, we should know the history, and we have done the history of mitochondria, and I will inshallah do every organelle in a detail like this, right? Okay, so now we go further forward, and we study our mitochondria in another detail, right? Okay, the first point about it was the discovery. Now the second point about mitochondria is its occurrence. It is found mostly in eukaryotic cells, right? So mitochondria is mostly found in eukaryotic cells, right? Now furthermore, eukaryotic cells are of two types. We know that eukaryotic cell may be a plant cell, right, and maybe an animal cell, right? So mitochondria is found in plant cell and in animal cell, but in case of animal cell, in our cell, there are certain cells which do not possess mitochondria, like our red blood cells, like our RBCs. Our RBCs does not possess mitochondria, right? So mitochondria is found in eukaryotic cell. It means that it may be found in plant cells and in animal cells, right? Then the third point about mitochondria is about its shape. What is the shape of mitochondria? Mitochondria has many shapes. In different cells, it has different shapes, right? For example, it may be granular. It may have granular shape. It may be spherical, right? It may have spherical shape. It may have fibrillar shape. It may have oval shape, right? So these can be the shapes of mitochondria, or we say that it may be also rod shaped. Right, friends? So these may be the shapes of mitochondria, right? Then number 4 point, what is the size of mitochondria? So friends, the size of mitochondria depends upon the energy demand of the cell. If the cell wants more energy, its mitochondria will be larger, and if the cell wants less energy, its mitochondria may be smaller, right? So the size of mitochondria may be from 2 to 6 micrometer, right? This can be the size of the mitochondria. Now what is the number of mitochondria? Number means how many mitochondria can be present in a cell. How many mitochondria can a eukaryotic cell have? Dear friends, I will say that its number is also dependent upon the energy demand of the cell. If the cell wants more energy, there will be lots of mitochondria present in the cell. But if the cell wants less energy, there will be less mitochondria, less number of mitochondria point, right? So in the world, in a eukaryotic cell, there may be one mitochondria, or there may be 5 lakhs mitochondria, right? Right? There can be 5 lakh mitochondria, or there can be only one mitochondria. So this is the number. Now look carefully. If one cell has this number of mitochondria, so think about its energy demand. That cell which contains this number of mitochondria, that cell must be needed more energy. So in order to provide that energy, there are more number of mitochondria, right? And about this cell which has only one mitochondria, this cell must require less energy. So that's why there is less number of mitochondria in that cell, right? Okay, so this is about its number. Now let's move towards the structure of mitochondria. Structure of mitochondria. So in order to explain the structure of mitochondria, we will take the help of this diagram. Let's label this diagram. Look friends, first of all, the most important thing, the mitochondria is composed of two membranes, right?